made an unannounced visit to Tennessee State University. The pair was eventually escorted off of campus by police as angry students gathered around. News 2's Kenley Hargett reports on the aftermath of that event.
If you want to talk to people who disagree with you, you go to the place where people are likely to disagree with you.
Students visibly upset at a conservative group showing up to their university unannounced. The group is on a nationwide college tour to honor Charlie Kirk and to open dialogue on various political topics. Tuesday, they chose Tennessee State University, where they set up two controversial signs in front of their table. One saying, DEI should be illegal, and the other, deport all illegals now. Let's talk. I sat down with two members of the group on why they chose to come to an HBCU.
We kind of just drive places and then we end up in a city. We pick a city and then we just go to that city and then we kind of figure out what universities are there. We didn't know that TSU was an HBCU until the night before. He didn't know until they told him on campus.
The university has released a statement about the event saying university policy requires any demonstration or protest activity requires advance approval and permitting. The group told me they reached out to TSU for approval, but could not reach them. They believe even if they had approval, they still would have been met with anger.
I don't know what would have been different about the situation. We probably would have been posted up in the exact same spot. The exact same people would have been on campus and they would have had the exact same mindset.
The group plans to continue their tour of speaking at colleges and universities, but they still don't plan to announce where they will speak next due to safety concerns. TSU says they will continue to uphold university policies and ensure campus remains a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of their community. Reporting in Nashville, Kenley Hargett, News 2.
TSU statement on unauthorized campus activity. Today, a group of individuals unaffiliated with Tennessee State University appeared on campus without prior notice. In accordance with university policy, any demonstration or protest activity requires advance approval and permitting. Campus police and staff responded promptly, and the individuals were escorted from university grounds without incident. At all times, TSU students conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner. The safety and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff remain our highest priority. TSU will continue to uphold university policies and to ensure that campuses remain a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of our community. HBCUs, the NAACP, and Black leadership organizations. Urgent warning regarding antagonistic group targeting HBCU campuses. Dear esteemed leaders, today, Tuesday, September 23rd of 2025, at about 3 p.m., a group calling themselves the Fearless Debates appeared on campus of Tennessee State University. They wore Make America Great Again hats and carried poster boards bearing inflammatory messages such as deport all illegals now and DEI should be illegal. They attempted to draw students into conversations centered on these messages, and which were framed as debate but function as provocation. The incident was not an isolated act of political expression. It was an intentional effort to antagonize, disrupt, and instill fear in the space created to be a safe, affirming, and supportive of Black students. While we recognize and respect that free speech is constitutional right, there is a clear and urgent distinction between constructive dialogue and rhetoric deliberately designed to provoke, demean, and endanger the psychological safety of students at HBCUs. We are both infuriated and alarmed that groups like Fearless Debates are targeting HBCUs in 2025 with rhetoric that echoes a long history of exclusion, racism, and systematic oppression. The appearance of these individuals on the campus of Tennessee State University underscores that the politics and ideologies that threaten the being of Black people are still real, still harmful, and still actively seeking to silence and antagonize us. We urge you, our HBCUs, our NAACP partners, and our Black Leadership Network to be vigilant, to share information, and to prepare responses to ensure that students are protected from these deliberate attempts to disrupt the sanctity of our campuses. HBCUs were founded on sanctuaries of empowerment, education, and freedom, and it is our collective responsibility to preserve that legacy against those who would seek to undermine it. We will not be silenced. We will not allow outside groups to strip away our dignity, safety, and thriving of our students. The time to respond with strength and unity is now, together in our fight for freedom. So let me just get this straight. And this is what I spoke about before, because I find things like this very, very interesting on how people can lie directly in front of the faces of other people. So you mean to tell me that at no point in time when you decided to do any research, when you decided to look up colleges and campuses and all of these things because you wanted to go out there and simply, quote unquote, have a conversation because you're trying to spread the light and the goodness of Charlie Kirk, right? You're trying to go out there and be the next him. You decided to go to this college in said area, didn't look up the demographics, didn't look up the surrounding areas, didn't look up what the demographics of the college would specifically be, because as they stated before directly in the interview, they want to go to where they could, in a sense, have the most impact, where people are going to tend to disagree. If you're going to do that, then obviously you're going to choose a black area. And if you're going to decide to go where people are going to disagree, go directly to a black college campus, a HBCU, then you're also going to do what? Put on a MAGA hat, because I want people to realize that it's pretty interesting that they had on the MAGA attire when they were on the black campus. Again, they were there to antagonize, to provoke. They were looking for a certain type of response in order to be proven right, in order to be able to record and say, hey, look, we proved it. Yes, the blacks, no matter how educated they are, no matter where it is that they are in life, this is how they are. This is how they act. We just came for a simple conversation, and this is how the left always goes. The left is always violent. The Democrats are always violent. This further proves the point. Yeah, they were looking for that, and they didn't get it. They didn't find it. Their expectations were set in the Andromeda galaxy, and they went below. They went past the Milky Way, down to whatever is below the Milky Way. Like, they did not get what it is that they were trying to bargain for. And I'm glad that they didn't get it. Because again, all of this was a ploy. These are paid operatives who are sent in order to cause or be a catalyst so that certain events can take place and happen. Because like I said before, the main result when it deals with all of this is that people want, not people, but the government wants chaos. The government wants martial law. The government wants the ability, or enable the ability, to have the people cry out for help, 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 so that the government can come through and respond. But the people don't realize that the government is putting out certain things, certain agents specifically out there in order to be the direct causation so that they can come in and, quote unquote, save the day and say that all is good and well because we're here. Like I said, it's crazy to me. It's 100% crazy to me when things like this take place and you're able to see this in 4K. And then you have people still taking the option, still breathing the same air within the same timeline to say that, oh, well, you know, we're so far past, you know, anybody wanting to be racist or people not wanting, doing things based on race and all these things. You did this specifically based on race. Why didn't you take this to an Ivy League college? Why didn't you go to an all-white college? Because like I said before, it's very interesting how these people selectively decided to go to an HBCU, decided to go directly towards black groups, black people. I thought white people had black fatigue, even though y'all didn't create that word, a black woman did, but I thought y'all had black fatigue, right? I thought y'all were doing everything necessary in order to be away from the blacks, right? You guys were even starting up your own town or city, and I don't think that actually went as people thought it was going to go, right? So there's that. But again, at the end of the day, it's a little bit weird how you want to do this, but yet you don't want to go to Utah. You don't want to, go through Arizona, Montana, right? You don't want to go through all of these areas of which that you have Caucasian people there with varying and different opinions, but you don't want to go at your own, even though your own had everything to do with Charlie Kirk. It was an all-white family. It was an all-white kid growing up in pretty much an all-white community, going to all-white school, right? That whole situation, the whole scenario. So instead of you directly going after that and trying to pick that apart, trying to dissect that in order to bring awareness so that you can point out where the cause is, where other things are basically lying and underlying in the situation, and you can come through with a solution so that you don't have copycats, or so that you don't have more people doing this, thinking that it's the right course to go towards if they have a disagreement with another person politically or otherwise. Instead of you trying to go at your own people and direct them and fix them, you decide to bring all of this to black people at a black college campus. And I'm supposed to believe that this had nothing to do with race. I'm supposed to believe that these, as white people say, these young white boys, I'm supposed to believe that with all the research that they did not know or understand that that was a HBCU, a black college campus. Okay. All right. You got it. You got it. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.